I saw a lady in the middle here.
Oh.
Sorry, what's your name? Okay.
Specialise in custom designed, manufactured and installed kitchens and other cabinetry throughout the house. We've been operating for 26 years now, so we're looking to mix up our marketing. Currently, we advertise in magazines, we have Google AdWords. I have a platform on an interior design website, and we also exhibit at the home show. Obviously, our clientele don't make a quick decision, so they need to see us continually. And I'm looking at what other avenues we could look at, whether it's exhibiting to architects, whether it's having exhibitions in our showroom. Basically, I'm not sure, and spend probably somewhere between 100 and 150,000 on advertising.
So what's the question, Alison?
What other marketing opportunities might there be other than your traditional Google AdWords, magazines, website, those sorts of things for my industry?
Yeah.
Because it's not a one-off sale, it takes a lot to get people to recognise you and to feel comfortable with you. So looking at what other avenues there are.
Quickly, why, what's your business name again, sorry?
Attard's Kitchens and Cabinetry.
Why Attard's instead of IKEA?
Because my name is Alison Attard.
Some people are hard to help.
My husband started the business 26 years ago, so...
Why would I get an Attard kitchen, not an IKEA kitchen?
Basically because you're dealing with the owners, you're dealing with the manufacturers and the installers. We provide a professional and personalised service. It's manufactured in Australia from Australian-made boards rather than imported products, and it has a better quality and a lasting detail to it. Yes.
All right.
All right, so earlier I mentioned a model.
Away now.
Away now. Okay. Earlier I mentioned a model called RAM, which is start with the result, then the audience, then the message, then the medium. But actually there's a simpler one, the 3M model by Dave Parrish, which is a simpler version. It is about who am I talking to, the market, the message, the medium. So I would say, first of all, be very clear on those audiences. Think about all the different customers and consumers that come into touch with your potential offer, whether it's architects, whether it's the end user, the homeowner themselves, whether it's tradies who might potentially be involved with helping fit your kitchens and cabinetry. It could be that they're working in the same site at the same time. Think about who they are and what they need to know about your product. Thinking then about features, benefits, implications. So features are what is so great about the products you make. You mentioned something about they're made from the best woods or Australian source woods. Think about the benefits of that. So is that about these woods are better, they're more environmentally friendly because they come from closer to home, and then think about the implications of that. So the implication for me as a homeowner is not only have I got a great looking kitchen, or as a tradie, not only am I fitting a great looking kitchen, but this kitchen is pretty good for the planet as well. So thinking about what those messages are. Then from there, think about the medium. So how do we get those messages across? And you spoke about some use of traditional media. You spoke about some advertising and press. You spoke about potentially Google AdWords. Think also about the very personal nature. It's a big ticket item to buy a kitchen. So sales force, person-to-person contact must be incredibly important for you. So how do you leverage that? How do you make sure everybody is singing off the same song sheet as well when it comes to that messaging?
Okay, in terms of looking at your sales process, a few recommendations here. We've obviously got a long tail sales process and a process where you might go out, meet one individual who then has to relay your information, on to their partner or something like that. So a recommendation here is, as part of the scoping phase, to help make them feel like the process is personal and that they're making the decision with you. A simple tactic might be using something that we do at Step Change, which is an A3 discussion guide, where it's your story on a page and all of the various elements that you offer on one simple document, where you can actually sit down with the customer and get them to actually circle the elements that they're looking at. And it gives them a piece of collateral that they can sit down with their partner and actually recall the actual conversation that they've had with you, rather than leaving it up to them and their memory recall to retell the story. The other element is, again, effective frequency. Once you've had your initial scoping with a customer, how are you going back and continuing to stay in touch with them and keep top of mind above your competitors? So again, whether that is some kind of getting them to sign up to an autoresponder email, which gives them something of value around the way that maybe traps of personalised custom fits, or traps of using these already tailored custom fits, or something like that. So get them engaged and sending them frequent messages to get them top of mind.
Okay, I've got 4 things here to get through very quickly. The first one is we talk about doing something different with our marketing. Oftentimes we can't just magic something different. We need to innovate in order to be able to communicate. So that would be where I'd start. And for me, that's around service as a differentiator. When I heard your story, I heard about Australian-made, custom, this type of stuff. I think what I want to hear as well when I'm buying a kitchen from you is guaranteed delivery within 7 weeks, or whatever the numbers are, because having a girlfriend who's working through doing remodeling kitchens and stuff at the moment, getting somebody to turn up and actually do a job is actually the hardest bit. So what can we do around
The room
that?
dropped when you said you had a girlfriend. Sorry. It was going so well.
Okay, all right. So can we innovate around our service? And actually around that then, one potential example of that is some kind of guarantee. Take risk off the kitchen bench, so to speak. Because it's a big investment for a lot of people. So how can we ensure that going with you is the right choice, give them the opportunities to get out of it? So one thing's selling your products, the other thing is selling you guys as the service. A start point here, which gets us to the effective frequency piece, is what I call a Trojan horse product. How do you get in the home offering something of value that doesn't cost you a lot, but is a lot of value to your prospective customer? So you might do a partnership with a designer and come in and go, we're going to do a 3-hour Allison's kitchen makeover, not IKEA's kitchen makeover. And in that, we'll map the options for your house. We'll give you a bunch of ideas, however we frame it. Completely obligation free, but now you're in there, you've built a relationship, your opportunity to convert is significantly higher. So if you think about, and the way to understand whether that's a good idea or a bad idea is to understand your average customer value. If your average customer value is 20, 30, 40, 50,000, then to spend 3 hours to do that, that's a really good investment. If your average customer value is $500, it's a bad one. But I suspect in your business it's higher. Once we've then got them, that's one opportunity to get contact details. We want to get contact details wherever we can, at the home shows, everywhere we're going, making sure we're getting emails. Then we want to start understanding if there's different customer groups. So you might have the inner city apartment group, you might have the big out here homes group. Like they might be very different, wanting very different things. Once we understand who they are, we can put them into what we call our CRM system. And that's where we get effective frequency. So we only own a customer if we're talking to them right across the sales cycle. So we need to understand the average sales cycle. So if the average sales cycle is 3 months, 12 weeks, we need to be in their inbox every week for 12 weeks with something of value. So it's 12 ways to win with your kitchen using some IP that you have. Now you might have one of those for apartment dwellers, another one for these type of people, another one for these type of people, so that you're hitting people with content that's of maximum value to them. That's what a great content strategy will do. So that's a few thoughts there. I might hand over to Ash. I think he's dying to say something.
Before Ash says something, I've got something to say first. So
I'll be over here if anyone needs.
So I'm glad Glenn picked up the idea of, God, when is that person going to arrive? You know, they said they're going to be here at 9, they haven't arrived. It's the biggest frustration with people coming to your home to do stuff. So a worthwhile exercise to do is thinking about all those different target audiences, the customer, the consumer, the end user, and so on. Thinking about 4 things. So triggers, barriers, drivers, pain points. So triggers, what is getting them to choose a new kitchen or cabinet? You know, thinking about all of those great things and the impression they want to make, the beauty they want to bring to their home, etc. Barriers, what's getting in the way? Could be costs, could be that sort of thing. Pain points, people turning up late, the kitchen doesn't fit properly. think about how you can use those as part of your reassurances and quality guarantees. And then drivers, what's the big drivers to getting into your category? What might your other competitors be saying that you need to think about? Well, we're going to say that in a slightly different way.
Okay, so I've cooked up a strategy over here, and maybe there might be a few puns going through. First of all, we need to set the menu. And when we set the menu, we need to make sure it's a la carte. Why? Because when you answer the question of why not IKEA, I didn't get clarity, I didn't get conviction, I got blah, 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 blah. What we need is clarity on why and versus the competitive set. Comes through in an A3 discussion guide like an extended menu. We then need to bake in some value. What we're talking about here is innovation. Things like guarantees, service promises, additional services that you just can't get anywhere else. That's the value bake in. We then need to look at adding some sauce. Partner with designers, interior designers, maybe even fashion designers. When you talked about tactics, 3D renderings and fly-throughs, there's softwares that can do that. Have a competition where everybody designs their own kitchen and one person wins. Every person who enters is then a prospect for you to then get into our degustration strategy, which is our effective frequency. For the ones that enter and don't win, send them one email a week for 7 weeks that focuses on a point, and then the aperitif. Make sure you do before and after on every single thing that you do, because that's your social amplification and how you win in the boardroom.